What's up, and welcome to the Music Hustlers Podcast, the show with real-world advice on how to develop your band. Today I've got my good friend, a fellow vocalist, the vocalist of the band that did Taser Trivia on Instagram Live, good friend of mine, Andrew Frogge. How are you, man? Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Hey, what's good, bro? I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, dude, of course. I'm excited to have you here.
Excited to be here. Goddamn.
I'm excited to take a deep dive on what it means to be a hungry musician and a little bit about goal setting and whatnot. So let's dive right in. First things first, what is None to No One up to right now?
None to No One right now. We finished up a video shoot for one of our songs, Seeds, which is coming out a little bit later.
May 22nd, isn't it?
Yeah, May 22nd it'll be coming out. So we'll be coming out with teasers like a week, I think, before that, days before that as well. We also have a new track in the works that is going to be coming shortly thereafter of that. And we're just kind of like picking apart like new tracks, new singles, and just trying to stay up in like productivity. We also got merch. We're, kind of like throwing some new stuff here and there. We're kind of doing it nomad style where we're just traveling around trying to spread our influence and spread our supply about as best as we can. And at that same rate, we're also doing like Instagram videos, we're doing Facebook Live videos, we're doing Discord calls, we're connecting to several different kinds of bands. We're just, I don't know, there's not really anything that we stick to. It's more so that we just wanted to attack pretty much everything.
Yeah, I like that, man. Staying hungry, keep hustling, keep going.
Damn straight.
I saw your guys' live stream, the Instagram live stream.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah, the Taser Trivia.
Yeah,
I thought,
okay.
I thought it was pretty good, man. I thought it was hilarious. I thought, definitely kept me entertained for a good hour. So good on you.
Thank you. I still got welts on my fucking side.
Oh, dude, that's rough.
Yeah.
That's rough. Hey, man, you shouldn't have gotten so many questions wrong, I guess.
I started the tasing with I went down and I just wanted to test it just to see how that felt because I bought this shitty taser from China. So I bought it and I wanted to test it. So right before the stream, I'm like, all right, well, to everyone that's watching, let's kick this shit off. Also, by the way, Mom, if you're watching, I'm sorry. And I launched it straight into my fucking thigh, but I missed in trajectory and I hit my dick.
Oh.
So that's how my day started. And that's how that happened.
That's awesome.
Thanks,
Taser to the dick, man.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It fucking sucks.
That's tight. So what would you tell a band that wants to kind of stand out a little bit while doing live streams?
Doing live streams for sure. Don't recycle content and definitely try to keep things personable and keep them to a point where people start to know you personally. And also, I don't know, we're a group that likes to keep things, I suppose, on the up and ante side. Kind of like when you're doing music production, how your single starts is never going to be the best representative of who you are. The tracks that come after that, the tracks that are, released later, the plethora of tracks that you follow with it, each one is a sense of progress that you do. Live streams are no different. All merch is no different. Every last piece of content will be content. It's just a matter of how you improve and how you capture activity and capture audience. And once you have that, it's just down to making genuine interaction. That's probably the best way to put that.
Absolutely. Sounds like someone's listening to the podcast.
Yeah, I do. Fucking religiously.
That's awesome. I appreciate that. But cool, man. Yeah, definitely. I agree that the content is definitely content. There's, never recycle, never, you don't want to put out the same shit twice.
No, fuck no. There's only so many Q&As that you watch that same band will get oh, how did you start? Oh, that's how you started? Dope. All right, moving on to the next 48 minutes of this.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. It's Q&As are cool. I love Q&As, but especially when you're a newer band, if you're doing Q&As every week, people are going to get bored. And, if they're, there's only so many questions that they can ask you,
This is the way that I look at it. So there are some rap artists, I'm not going to name their names, but they have autobiographies now, and they're 22, 23 years old, and they have autobiographies. I want to just really get that point home, that they have autobiographies. What shit have you lived in 22 years that's all that interesting yet? Come on, you're writing the first chapter. Move on.
No, I feel that, man. I feel that for sure. Cool, man. So let's talk about staying hungry as a musician.
Oh yeah.
What is some advice that you give to someone who is kind of struggling to find that motivation to keep going as a musician or to give their all to music?
Ooh, that's kind of a catch-22, but it's a good kind of catch-22. So first and foremost, when you're hungry as a musician, this is like your priority. This is your baby. This is your passion. So right off the bat, this is something that you should care about, and it's not just something that you care about, but it's something that you want to execute and execute well. So when you do that, you start to see the payoff as you keep progressing in quality and progressing in quantity. You start to realize that it's almost a self-feeding fire that you realize, like, all right, well, now that this is amping up, how much higher can we do to outdo ourselves in order to keep that up? Like, you don't want to plateau necessarily, but the idea there is that, like, once you get to see, like, the hunger, or like the product of you being very hungry, you wanting to make content and you genuinely putting your all into something, you start seeing what pays off out of that. And right after that, it's almost like an instantaneous high where you're just like, all right, fuck yeah, I want to do that again. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
I feel that.
And you hype it up and you just keep, upping the ante.
Yeah. So what you're saying is the more you put out, the more, people will notice it. And, by definition, when people notice your stuff, you're going to get, it's like a serotonin bump,
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
just ride off that serotonin as hard as you can.
Just ride that shit
up until your next hit, and trust me, you're gonna be itching for it. So
I feel that though, man. That's good. Yeah, just continuously put out. I mean, I've said it multiple times on this podcast that the more you put out shit, the more likely someone is going to notice it.
Oh yeah, for fucking sure.
And if you're just continuous and consistent with your content, then your audience engages with that. Your audience sees how consistent you are. And that's one thing I like about you guys is doing your fucking live streams every week. Like, that's fucking sick. Like, that's
it gets difficult, that's for sure. I've still got welts on me. But
I feel that.
Yeah.
But hey man, it stands out. Like, I feel like it stands out. I feel like there's definitely a lot to that, and I think that if you guys keep it up, you have potential to make something out of it for sure.
You also get to start to know the people that are watching you, and you get to start getting to know the people that bring someone to come watch you. You start to get to know them personally, and like those personal relationships just like push you even more and more on top of it, which is so fucking nice.
Absolutely.
So it just pushes you to be even more consistent and more continuous, and like eventually you just become this fucking, I don't know, unstoppable force, or at least that's the goal. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea there.
No, I feel that, and it's cool because, like, I mean, what live is essentially just a hangout session.
Mm-hmm.
So
all in its entirety.
If people come and they're hanging out with the band, I mean, it starts to feel exclusive almost, and it's like it gives them that sense of like, oh, okay, yeah, like I know those guys. I got to, I was on their live a couple weeks ago and they hung out with me or whatever.
I was, this is how I met Harry Eaton,
nice.
Actually. He was on the stream and he said,
Harry Eaton?
Yeah.
Shout out.
By the way, shout out Harry. Happy to hear about you. So on that feed, he had said, or have one of them tase the other. And we're like, are you sure? Do you really want this? He goes, yes. Just spam commenting. We're like, all right, cool. I step up and Nolan just fucking just sticks it in my side, and I go down. And we only found it fair to do the same thing back and forth. And that's how I started meeting new people.
Nice.
That's just one good example.
Nice. Speaking of meeting new people, what are some things that you have been doing this year to bring your band to the next level?
Fucking A. All right, so I started using this resource called the internet. So personally, I like to use Discord for this type of thing, but Discord allows a means of communication with really anybody that has the app as well. But Discord, I would start messaging different like cities, different boards, different musical communities off of various cities. Like, I've never stepped foot in Melbourne before, Melbourne, Australia. But I've started connecting with a couple of bands there that want to talk. I've started connecting with the same amount of bands in like Manchester, UK. Been doing the same thing in Memphis. Never stepped foot there. I started doing the same thing with like Minneapolis and Boise and Albuquerque, and then fucking like Seattle, and then doing the same thing in Portland and Bend and Los Angeles, and like just all over the map, because like there's not really much of a reason for me not to. It's a worthwhile means of connection and means of hangout to at least try and make friends outside of where I'm going. If I can't leave the house, that doesn't mean that I can't meet people. And of course, I'm not doing it, old-fashioned Omegle style, or like fucking chat roulette.
But yeah, I was just gonna say chat roulette.
Yeah, I can't do a chat roulette style because that's gonna get demonetized real quick. But no, instead I would actually just put forward the initiative to just like, it doesn't feel like very many people are just hitting, other people up. So I mean, the same way that I hit up any of my friends, like I just hit up any other band / stranger / artist or whoever it might be. I just hit them up and just ask them a couple questions, start to like kind of get to know them, try to get familiar with their work. And right after that, just start making friends with them, start making calls, start making friends, start making a community, and realize that, it helps you realize very soon that the world is not that large, and that there are so many more like people to learn from, and there are so many more like perspectives to gain. Yeah. So when you start earning those kinds of friends like that, that helps us. And as a band, that actually gives us the dynamic that we don't have to be, shut in. And for that matter, that's also spreading our influence. I've actually got 2 packages that were ordered for a None to No One's merch. And I've sent 2 packages, one to New York and one to Hartford, Connecticut. Nice. Actually, as of the last 2 days. Nice. So, that's kind of helping out here.
That's sick, man. Yeah. Yep. And then, you talk to those people start to spread the word around.
Oh yeah.
Wherever you're talking to them, and then it spreads like wildfire.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Instead of doing like the fucking, hey man, I see this, like you're going like a YouTube comment section, just like, hey man, I really like this stuff. Would you guys like to check out my band? I'm doing this. Like, nah, that's been over and done with. Just drop it on their fucking their front doorstep. Yeah. Just see if they even like it.
No, I feel that, man. Yeah. Like, and it's all about just reaching out to people. People are a lot more likely. Oh yeah. I mean, well, they're not gonna talk to you at all if you don't reach out to them. So it's like,
yeah, exactly.
They're definitely like, if you reach out to people and you just take the initiative. I mean, sometimes you're gonna get left on red.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes you're gonna get a straight up just rejection. But for the most part, like if you just reach out and actually try, if you take that initiative, to talk to people who are in other states or talk to people who are even in other countries.
Yeah.
You're gonna start to see something from it.
Mm-hmm. It's really nice to like know too. Like for one, I've moved a lot as a person, so I understand the feeling of like, oh, fucking no one knows me, and I could look at that in like a sad perspective, but I'm also in a state of mind where it's like, oh shit, fucking nobody knows me. Oh, pleasure to meet you. Put her there, just like something like that, and then immediately just try and make friends out of it. Like it's 10 times easier than anyone thinks it is. Like it's literally just a reach out. And worst they can say is no. Yeah. But other than that, you could start making friends right off the bat. Yeah. Just be a decent conversationalist, I suppose, and Absolutely. Exchange likes and fans. And I've done this with various bands, and like you just kind of network and work together, and eventually you realize that the company that you keep is starting to get a lot bigger, and that sometimes you become vital in other people's lives. And it's also really cool because that's a weird indirect way of networking, but that's pretty much what it turned out to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Cool, man. So let's talk a little more about your band.
Sure thing.
Why hardcore?
Well, metalcore is overdone for us. I used to be in a deathcore project. Ooh. That's kind of
You're in a hardcore band that used to be in a deathcore project. Come on now.
Yeah, right. Like don't get me wrong. Like I loved like As Blood Runs Black, and I loved Suicide Silence, but at the same time, I didn't want to be something that other people have already been.
Yeah.
I don't like. I like to be individual, and I like to be expressive. And hardcore music is in its like purest form very cathartic, and it's very individual. It's very DIY. It's very like you get what you get, and everything that you put into it will be what you get out of it. And it's really nice because like in Arizona particularly, there's not much of a hardcore scene. Yeah. That does not mean that they don't fight hard.
Yeah.
So meeting these bands, the few that we do, like you make friends almost instantaneously. And hardcore is like, it's one of those nice little breeds of directly in between metal and directly in between punk that like I understand much better, because like it's where I can let out as much aggression, as much emotion, and let it all be my most cathartic means of like getting all the shit from inside and leave my guts out on the stage. And like once that happens, like it's just, it works. Like the music works, the presence works, the energy works. It's one of the only times that I could be in a band and throw a trash can at somebody as a projectile and it's still considered appropriate. So that's a pretty good excuse, but at the same time, like I also kind of grew up with stuff like I listened to Minor Threat, I listened to Black Flag, I'd listened to fucking even Code Orange for that matter. Agent Orange is another good one.
Oh, nice.
Bloodstain. Like I was real happy about that, and like I don't know, like I don't listen to hardcore that much anymore as a person, because I realized that we aren't really like a band that we're not a band that copies somebody else's style. It's more so like we have an idea of some form of inspiration and then we just do something completely off the wall after that. And then we kind of like try to make it fit that genre. Like it's easier to say like, oh, we're just going to do with these couple of chords, these couple of frets, these couple of words, couple of drum patterns, and we're going to be in the general like hardcore vicinity.
Yeah.
Or what we like to do is come up with some total bullshit idea, and then somehow that coordinates to make it work, and like it somehow every single time it does. Like it's how we appropriate it to be like kind of bass backwards, I guess, in a way, but it's been our most successful strategy, I suppose. And like hardcore altogether is super accepting of people too. Like I've run into significantly less elitists in this community than I've met in plenty of others. So it's welcoming all around.
Yeah, Arizona's hardcore scene is AZ hardcore.
AZHC, bro. Let's do it.
AZHC is fucking. I love Arizona's hardcore scene though. I'll admit. Like Easy Money, fucking. What is it?
I just got to connect with them. Yeah, Exit Wound was fucking like, good one. Life and Limb.
Life and Limb's another good one. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We've got some really solid hardcore bands. March Truth is good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking.
And it's like, but I see what you're saying. It's a smaller scene for sure out here. Like we've got a pretty big metalcore scene, but like.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But like. Let's do some old school hardcore, man. Let's fucking make shit up.
Oh yeah, if it's gonna get slammy, or if we're gonna do something real weird with it, trust me, hardcore has seen many changes. Yeah. But it's always been accepting, and fucking A, it's starting to catch fire. Which like, I'm very happy that we walked into it at the right time. So. Yeah.
No, I feel that, and they are really accepting. Like that's one thing I really like about hardcore is just like how chill everybody is. Like I feel like hardcore gets a bad rap because like we're all aggressive as fuck in pits, sure. But like
you knocked my ass over in a pit like twice. I went sliding in the other direction about 5 feet, and it was worth it.
True as fuck. But no, but like they're all super nice people, and I see that a lot, and I think that's one thing that I really like about hardcore.
I feel like a lot of people miss hardcore right about now too.
Dude, it's
There's
true,
much
man.
more like political charge sometimes, and there's also like a lot more like angst. Hardcore has also been like the type of genre to bring up a lot of really hard to ask questions, and some things that most people just don't want to fucking talk about. So at this point, we're in some pretty interesting times. I think this is about the time that we show what we got.
Especially, I mean, with the political climate and everything.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No, this is like perfect time for it.
And just, everything that goes on in the world right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, it's cool, man. It's I mean, one thing I've always really liked about hardcore, I feel like it's very raw and it's very like it's one of the, because I'm being a lyricist and being, in bands, I've basically been vocalist my entire life. And I've always really, favored people who write lyrics that are relatable, or lyrics that are, and that's one thing I can't stand about deathcore is that they write, usually, I mean not every time, but they'll write lyrics that are typically like,
they stay to a certain atmosphere.
They stay to a certain atmosphere, and they're usually like more
brutality
or about something that isn't necessarily like an actual thing that's going to happen. But when it comes to hardcore, they're usually like straight up raw shit, and I said all of that to say what like when you're writing lyrics, what do you typically, how do I write your lyrics?
Well, so I normally write lyrics in a paragraph. I literally just write it out as a passage, and it's like a full complete thought. It's like, I don't know, like I'm in a weird headspace, but I know that I need to get it out. And if it might be from a past or if it might be from a very present and very like in the moment sensation at the moment, like for what I'm going through, I always just go for that. And I just write it out in a paragraph. And then once I feel like that paragraph is there, I start breaking it up if I want them to be in like lyrical chunks of like a verse, or if I want them to be in a chorus, or if I want them to be in like some form of beatdown, or if I want them to be in like an ending or an intro, or if I want them to be like overhanging in like a hook or something. Like that's, I start coordinating the full thought where it should be. Like it's relatively easy for me to do that. Like writing them in paragraphs all together is actually a lot easier, because at least you get the full fucking point instead of trying to like make each thing rhyme or do some shit like that, like the same old fucking stanza formula bullshit. Like
I feel that.
You know, it gets fun, don't get me wrong, but like I'm not really the type of person to do that. I prefer to like just at least get the actual sensation down and like get the feeling. Like I music is just invoking emotion, and music is the type of stuff that I write is just very real feeling. Like I would rather listen to music, and I would rather write to music that I heavily relate to. And I've got a lot of people around me that, like, you know, I check with my lyrics for and like kind of bounce back and forth once in a while. But those are all things that I know that these people can relate to. So I want to hit points that most people aren't talking about. Like our last track that we dropped, Seeds, is about post-acute withdrawal syndrome. And I've had that problem for fucking too damn long. But I know that there aren't very many people talking about it because it's not exactly a popularized thing. Like normally you have like the subjects of either, hey, I'm either getting better or I'm an avid addict. Yeah. But it's not often that you talk about like the literal walk in between those points.
Yeah.
And like that's what that is. It's also like the call of like going back in, kind of like the call of the void.
Yeah.
And then there's also like this means of like, I think I'm doing fine. Like I think I'm on the right road. I think I'm going somewhere, but I don't truly fucking know, and I'm not even sure if I trust myself to say that. Like that type of perspective. Like it's very like, it's a very weird kind of purgatory, and I haven't heard a single song yet. That doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, but I have yet to hear a song about that. So I wanted to just get that out. Yeah. So, you know, that's one thing, but there are a lot of other tracks that are soon to be released, which I will not say yet, but all of those come from a very special place.
Yeah,
so, you know,
that's
just,
good, man.
Yeah, just paragraphs and very real, honest, straightforward, fucking raw energy. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, talking about Seeds, I mean, we were just at that shoot last night for the music video, being released on May 22nd. Check it out. It's gonna be tight. But yeah, no, that song's really solid, and I get that feel, you know, listening, like now knowing what it's talking about, and then listening to it, I'm like, okay, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Yeah. So let me ask you, I end every interview with one specific question.
Okay.
And that is, if you had if you had a piece of advice to give a new hustler out there, someone who's just trying to break into the industry, what would it be?
Stay hungry. Stay all levels of ambitious. Like don't ever believe that any of your goals are going to be too fucking lofty, because every single project will always be that. Like if you stay if you stare too much at the tip of Mount Everest while you're at the base camp, you're never going to go there. But if you just focus on 1 foot forward at a time, and eventually those walks turns into sprints, you realize that that's the main goal. Like it's almost like a primal instinct to just like pursue. That's just like you wanting to go after that. It's just a level of ambition, going like giving it 100% of the time, to a point where it seems almost inhuman. Like that's just, it's a level of passion, and it's a level of like hunger that keeps you very, very like, it keeps you just completely immersed in this pursuit. So by all means, if you are passionate about something, don't you dare fucking fry away from it. Like just don't. It's something that's going to look real daunting, but make sure that you are about just as daunting towards it. Like that's the main deal that I would say.
Yeah. Go all in.
Fuck it, go all in, full send, do a backflip if you're jumping off a cliff.
do a fucking backflip. It's like the analogy that you used earlier before we started recording.
Oh yeah.
That, you know, there's two people standing at a cliff, and
Yeah.
one of them stands there and contemplates it for a minute.
Peers down,
and
checks to see if there's rocks, and then
Yeah.
there's that asshole like me that just, oh, there's a cliff.
Yeet, just yeet on off that motherfucker.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I feel that though, man. There's two different routes in life. You can be that that person who just sits and contemplates everything and sits and thinks about it. You can think about something all the live long day, but unless you're, actually hungry and you're actually going after it, unless you give it everything that you have, then it's never going to actually become something.
Yeah.
So
thinking bad, just do.
just do, man. You're gonna fuck up, you're gonna fail, you're gonna make mistakes, but if you just keep doing it, then you'll eventually get there.
Yeah, fuck yeah. NTNO is literally a product of just fucking millions upon millions of like just shitty mistakes and like shitty situations that we've always made them work. Like we didn't give ourselves the choice of like, fight or flight. We just chose fight because we see it as like, oh, the door's locked behind us. Well, looks like we got to clear the fucking room now. And we always have, for the most part. Like, it could be a huge deficit, but we're hungry enough and we stay very ambitious to what we do, so we're not going to give anything less than our full fucking potential.
Yeah.
Every single time we do something.
Yeah. Give everything you got, and then, you'll get there.
Yeah.
You just
pick up the pieces on the way there.
Just
apologize in case you broke someone's window.
Yeah.
That's about it. That's the least of your worries.
Facts, bro. Facts. Cool, man. So where can they find you?
NTNO, None to No One, has a Facebook page, has an Instagram page, and I believe has a Twitter page. I believe it's just None to No One, periods in between all of those. Official, I believe.
Yeah.
On Twitter and Instagram. Facebook page, you could just look up None to No One. It's a 3-piece. And then you could also find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. Generally, I'm probably not going to give away my Snapchat. Fuck that. So, yeah, on Facebook or Instagram, that's probably the one that I reply the most. Twitter is mostly for my shit posting. So, yep, Ray of fucking Sunshine is my Instagram handle, and Andrew Frogge is on it's my Facebook handle.
Nice.
Cool,
man. Well, thanks for being here, man. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, fucking happy to be. Are you kidding me?
I enjoyed talking to you. I always enjoy talking to you, but it was cool
Likewise.
to talk to you on camera and
It's
all
about
that.
Yeah, for once you're actually in front of the camera with me.
Yeah.
How about that?
Ooh. All right, hustlers. Thanks so much for hanging out with me and Andrew Frogge from None to No One as we talked about staying hungry and giving your all into your music project.
Fuck yeah!
Yeah, yeet. It's been a pleasure. If you want to check me out on Instagram, go to @TheKennyFerris. You can also follow the Music Hustlers podcast, both on Instagram and Facebook @Music Hustlers Podcast. And if you want to check out my photography work, go to www.shotsbyferris.com. We're out of here. Peace.